What's up, everyone? My name is Carlos, aka C. Welcome to the C Talks channel. If you're new, hey, welcome. I hope you like my content. If you don't, tough luck. Today, I'm going to rant. This is going to be an unfiltered, unedited, no edits video. I just want to get content out. I'm done with YouTube and its limiting algorithm, so I just want to talk. This is 100% unfiltered. No edits, nothing. We're living in strange times. It's 2026. It's the end of February, and nothing is improving. Things are getting worse and worse, and we're supposed to just be okay with the way things are. I I feel like I'm in a surrealist movie sometimes. This doesn't feel like a real reality. 2026. Tech oligarchs are pushing AI on the entirety of humanity. Nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for AI. Nobody asked for robots taking our jobs. But yet, this is the direction that society is going in. I have to say that I think that this is a result of greed and overall human nature. There's a reason why we have laws, folks. There's a reason why we have rules and codes. Because if you left humans to their own free will, we would do terrible, horrible things because throughout history, that's what we've done. Veneer theory. I've talked about veneer theory in the past. Veneer theory states that at our core, humans are not so good beings. And that's why we have created things like religion and morals to keep us on the right path because naturally we're not on that path. Tech oligarchs are imposing AI on society. Nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for their jobs to be replaced by AI, but yet here we are. We're all being replaced slowly. I've seen news reports and news articles and print and online articles saying that within 5 years, 90% of jobs are going to be gone. So nobody will have a job. What's going to happen in 5 years when nobody has a job? Nobody can find employment. You think society and the government is going to care enough to give people universal basic income? They don't. They don't care. Governments are bought by corporations. I don't know how the YouTube algorithm is going to take to me saying this, but it's the truth. Governments don't care about people. Governments only care about money. Dinero. Dinero. Money. I'm going to sip some water. Layoffs keep happening everywhere, left and right. Every single month in the US, we see layoffs. People are getting laid off. People are taking way longer to find full time employment. The big picture issue here is that the US economy is collapsing. To echo the message of Joseph Tainter, the US is an incredibly complex society, and sooner or later, it doesn't benefit a society to be so complex. So it has to return to a lower state of complexity, i.e., collapse. This is something that happens time and time again in societies. We're not the first society to collapse. Rome collapsed, Greece, different empires. I'm not the best historian, but you get the point. This is collapsing is a natural part of societies. Societies rise, empires rise to the top, and then plateau and then begin to collapse. I don't know what stage we're at in terms of collapse in the US, but we're getting there. The news keeps throwing these red flags at us, but we're too preoccupied on our cell phones and on dumb social media and watching the Super Bowl halftime show to actually notice what's happening. In 2032, I saw this on the news the other day. In 2032, SSI is going to begin being reduced because SSI is a Ponzi scheme, folks. You need people paying into SSI, i.e., working, to fund SSI. If you don't have a working population because everybody's job has been taken by robots and artificial intelligence, how is anybody going to be able to retire in the US in the future? Oh, that's right. We're not going to be able to do that. Welcome to America, folks. George Carlin said it. I will say it. It's a dream because you have to be. The American dream is called the dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. I think a lot of people are waking up. The expat movement is growing. I don't think there's much that can be done at this point to save the US. We're past the point of saving. There's no going back. I think in the future, the US will look like a third world country. It probably is a third world country right now, but it might resemble a Brazil. That's a hypothesis I have. The amount of income inequality that we're seeing hasn't been seen before. I've seen clips on how much money do you have to make for you to be middle class. It's over $100,000 now. What is minimum wage? Not that many people make $100,000 in the US. I forget the percentages. I've done videos on just how many people, the percentage of people that make over 100 figures are. I don't know if it's 14, 15, 20%. It's around that number. I don't know off the top of my head right now, but I would argue it's worse now because a lot of those people that made six figures before were white collar workers. They were middle managers. They worked in offices. They were software engineers, entry level. You could make 100, 150K. I'm an engineer. I've made close to six figures off of just a college degree. But this was years ago, and things are not the same. They're not what they used to be. What else do I want to say? I think people are waking up and are awake, and people are thinking of their options. What can you do when the ship that you're on is sinking and you can see that it's sinking? As a person who's high IQ, I'm high IQ. I am a big picture thinker and I'm smart. I've always been told that I'm smart. It's unsettling, although I think a lot of people don't see it, to notice that every single thing around me is falling apart. I see it at every corner. I'm in New York City. I hop on trains that never get to where they're supposed to go on time. I have seen trains shut down recently, insane delays. Social cohesion, societal cohesion is non existent. Every single part of my life seems to become more and more complex over time. Joseph Tainter, a society can't just become more and more and more and more and more complex. Eventually, it's going to collapse because, okay, this is the issue with overcomplicating society. It's taxing on the average person. The average person has in the US has about 100 IQ. There's only a certain amount of things that you can handle. And that's smart. That let's not lie about that. We have a decent IQ overall average. It's going down by the way, but that's besides the point. When you overcomplicate things, it becomes taxing on most individuals. They have to keep more things in their mind. They have to do more stuff. They have to remember more passwords, and everything becomes much more complex. There comes a time when it's not sustainable to have to enter three passwords and then receive a text to log into a simple shopping app. It's taxing on individuals. Let's add the fact that most people are on social media dumbing themselves down. Social media is a drug. It makes you dumber, it makes you stupider, it limits your cognitive bandwidth. I've been off social media for the most part for 2 months, and I feel myself to be more intellectually lucid than I have been in years. And that's just me throwing fancy words in there, but it's also true. I'm much sharper and I can rationalize and construct dialogue more articulately as a result of me being off of social media. I feel robbed, and I think that most people can't see it, and most people don't know they're in the matrix loop of modern America, where you're just a dollar sign. You're supposed to make money for the system, but the system isn't holding up to their contract anymore, folks. AI is coming for all of our jobs. There are no jobs. American government isn't investing in the American people anymore. It's all companies and corporations, and how are they going to get the new wave of immigrants into the US so they can do all the work? Because those of us who are citizens and were born here and grew up here aren't going to do the jobs that they want us to do. Who wants to drive Uber? I don't. Who wants to do menial work? I don't. I grew up in America and I went to college. I don't want to do any of that stuff. America's failing its citizens. I don't know what else to add, so I'm gonna leave it at that. If you feel like I missed something or you want to counter argue any of my points, feel free to drop a comment in the description of this. Feel free to drop a comment in the comment section of this video. I'll be back with another video soon. I'm not sure when, but enjoy this one. This was a rant. Peace.